I'm all for it. So, and again, like you said, it's getting fighters paid. You know, to go for it. Let's do it. And I think too, it's woken up and gotten more people who weren't originally involved in MMA and stuff. It's gotten them more involved in it too, because you know everybody likes some drama in the news and pulling, you know, people like Jake. You know, it got attention. So again, things like everybody else, all these guys who have made it, it's got the attention that it needed, and it probably helped things a little bit. So.
No, I mean you're completely correct. He's helping. He's doing for fighters what promoters should be doing, and it's giving them that access of like, hey, you could be making this money, but you know, you're doing this thing where you're not, and it's a company that doesn't want to pay you. And it's unfortunate. And I mean, I really hope within the next 5 to 10 years that we have a much different aspect and different conversation when it does come to fighters' pay, because you look at what Endeavor paid for the UFC and it's in the billions range, but then you look at average fighters' pay and it's nowhere close to that. And then also, I've talked to this with enough fighters, you do the backwards math, they're not getting whatever their documented is getting. I mean, yeah, they get it, but at the end of it, they don't, because you got to think about taxes, you got to think about managers, you got to think about coaches, you got to think about dietitians, you got to think about travel, because from what I've heard, they only really allow you one corner person. Well, how many times do we only see one corner person out with somebody? You don't. You see at least 3 or 4 other corner people, so you got to fly those people out. If you are, you know, someone like a champion who wants his entire team from another country there, that's a whole nother cost. But, you know, it's an ugly conversation that I wish, again, had a better outcome, and I hope within the next 5 to 10 years we are having a genuinely different conversation when it comes to fighters' pay.
Me too. We do have to think, like, the sport of fighting stuff, it's very, very, very young. So hopefully as it grows in comparison to what it was, I don't know, 20 years ago to now, it's huge.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It's grown so much, so it can only go even farther from there. You know, it can only grow from here, and so I hope the same as what you were saying, that if they do get more out of it, and some changes will happen. So, yep, I agree.
Good. Now, as much as your sport is a physical one, it's also a mental one as well. What kind of mental workouts do you enjoy doing when it comes to either ramping up before a fight or cooling down after the fact, or, you know, just on a daily basis of, you know, just trying to keep your head straight? Like, what kind of mental workouts and systems do you kind of get yourself into?
I had a lot of help. I had this company from made by Dr. Seth Hickerson. It was called My Steady Mind, and he helped me a lot with my last fight to get mentally ready, and I use a lot of stuff from that still. And like this last fight I was supposed to have, getting ready for that, I kept my cool in situations of, you know, hearing like the what ifs and things like that, just like taking a deep breath and just been like, you know, telling myself to block it out, and remembering that I'm here to have fun and I'm here to do this for me and no one else. Helped a lot, because I get so caught up in everything around me, and again, like those, like, what if I, you know, fail? I want to do this for my fans, and I want to look good for this, and you know, you get really caught up on the outside things, when in reality it's like, no, whoa, you're not doing this for anybody but you. And no matter like whatever happens, as long as you give it your all and do the best you can and fulfill yourself, you know, go to the practices, do your diet correctly, treat yourself right. As long as you do all those things, whatever else happens, it doesn't matter. You know, you win, cool, you did great. You lose, then there's a reason why you lost, and you get back in there and you work on it and you just kind of go with it, you know. So kind of getting that Goku mentality, just go out there and fight and be the best version that you can be. So, do a lot of that. Keeping the stress down, reminding myself, just always living in gratefulness, staying as positive as I can. And if a day's not positive, just soaking in it and being like, okay, this is what this is. And I'm going to take that in, and then I'm going to use it and move forward from it. So that's
awesome.
why it's been working for me so far. Just about it on that end.
No, I mean, that's all you can do.
Yeah, everything else, if something's not in your control, like why stress about it? And two people, you're going to get, when you get in a fight, there's going to be a winner, there's going to be a loser. You want to be the winner of that. But like, why even think about the win or lose? Just focus on what you have and your abilities that you can, and be confident, and have a champion mindset, and nothing else matters. Champion mindset is like, doesn't matter who's in front of you, because you're going to succeed no matter what. So keeping that. Mm-hmm.
You're entirely correct. Yeah, I completely. That makes sense. Some people just get themselves out mentally before they even get in the cage, and so if you're getting yourself mentally right before, and you're like making that part of your training process of making sure that you are mentally there, like, you are already ahead of your opponent, because you're already, you're working 3 or 4 steps ahead, hopefully, mentally, than they are, and so that you are already, you don't even have to worry about anything.
Yep. Yeah. Like you do everything you're supposed to do, and you train like you have. There shouldn't be a thought in your mind that's like says you're not going to be successful in whatever you're doing. If you want to be a champion, if you are the best, then you are the best, and no one's going to get in your way for that. So it's just, reminding myself of that, just trying the best that I can to keep saying that. Like I think that's important.
Yeah, I think that's incredibly important as well, because, I mean, like I was saying, you can talk your way out of, or you can think your way out of a fight before you even get into it. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You see it all the time.
Yeah. Now, I have a segment on the show I call it the 5 count, where I have 5 random questions. You just answer as quickly as possible.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'll try. Sometimes, like, my brain is on a buffer, It's like, my wife has to connect with my head, but I'll do the best I can for you.
I appreciate that. What is your cheat meal of choice?
Cheat meal of choice? Oh, these are hard questions. A lot of times, I guess, like, I always feel for pizza. Like, pizza's always a nice go-to. It's cheesy goodness. Cheesy bread? Oh my gosh, I love cheesy bread.
Papa John's, I think, has the best cheesy bread. Marco's has great cheesy bread as well. Obviously, every place in the country is going to have different pizza places that have different great things. But on the whole, I think Papa John's is great when it comes to cheesy bread. I also think Marco's is doing a fantastic job as well.
Recently, Domino's, like one of my kids, I'll let them I'll eat lunch in my class, and I just let them chill there, because they're like they don't like to socialize with people. So one of them just in this pizza from Domino's. I was like, dude, she's like, you want the piece? I was like, yeah, I do. Yeah, it was good. I was like, oh, Domino's, it's hitting right. So I don't know, you might check it out again.
Yeah, their crust is on point. Like whenever that whole rebranding happened, the change on the crust, I think changed everything. So Domino's is back up there. Their cheese bread is stuffed and it's good. I still prefer if we're having cheesy bread, it's a different conversation. Stuffed and regular cheesy bread are two different things to me.
It is. Yep. Yeah. Two different areas. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. I could talk about pizza inside all the dogs. But hold on. If you owned a liquor company, brewery, winery, or coffee shop, which one would you own and what would the name be?
I can't have all of it in one.
I mean, that would be, depending on what state, I think it could work, but I think that'd be really cool.
Well, I've always wanted a coffee shop, actually. I'm going to have it patented down. It's going to be 2 Sweets, Coffee and Treats. It's going to be great. I have it. Definitely, the flavors are going to be, very exotic. I do love a good light roast, coffee. So, I probably have my own special take on it. But yeah, so that would be my own coffee shop. Liquor store or something like that, my favorite type of alcohols and stuff. Recently, I have been on a whiskey kick. Yeah, there's been, and again, I used to never drink beer, and I drink a lot more beer now. But yeah, so whiskey.
What beer do you drink? I was going to ask earlier, but we were on to those.
It's so, yeah, everything's everywhere. Yeah, beer wise, I like a good dark Guinness type stuff because I enjoy those coffee flavors. I can't have a whole lot of that. But I do like a good rich, beer, like a Guinness. Gosh, there was one, I think they did a type of, dark Guinness beer, and they did a shot of honey whiskey in it. Oh, I was free, but it was delicious. Yeah. I yes, do recommend that. Blue Moon, what is that? Is that a wheat type?
Yeah, Hefeweizen. Yeah.
Yeah. Beers like that, I like a good one like that. So good Blue Moon wheat ale. It's my go-to. Not a hops person, can't do it. It's just ugh. So.
No, it makes sense. Since your nickname is Too Sweet, what is your favorite era of pro wrestling?
Of pro wrestling?
Yes. Do you know the lineage of your Too Sweet nickname to pro wrestling?
No, no.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know there was another one like me. I thought I was the only one.
Well, Too Sweet is okay, do you remember the NWO? Do you remember that?
No.
Okay.
That might have been.
Happened. That could have been before your time. Yeah, that makes sense. It was in the 90s, and it was, so they always did this hand signal where, and they would always touch, and it would say Too Sweet. It still goes on to this day over in Japan with the Bullet Club. So Too Sweet is very much still a very constant thing in the world of pro wrestling.
Can you send that to me? I would love to see that and have my own take on it. That would be so cool.
Yeah, I think the tie-in would work out perfectly for you to learn pro wrestling.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Well, okay, then, what are 3 things people wouldn't expect about you?
3 things people wouldn't expect about me. If it was a random person.
Yeah.
Kind of, okay. Yeah, I love to sing. A lot of people didn't know that. And recently I started, opening that back up in my life. I, probably teaching. I don't, put that out there, and I don't put my kids and stuff out there a whole lot, just because people are weird, and, I just want to keep that side a little bit separate from my competition side, just to, I don't know, I just feel a certain way about it. So yeah, maybe teaching. A third thing people wouldn't expect about me, gosh, I don't know. Is there something that you have found about me that you didn't expect, that you get from me?
Well, the teaching thing, I didn't know that was a thing because again, like you